Crypto Man Ren. Welcome to the Crypto Show, where we do exactly as we've been predicting. Fred, I'm off the Wi-Fi. Let's bring in the sniper. Hi, buddy. Hi, guys.
Well, welcome back. I'm Crypto Man Ren, and I think they do a better job than I do at bringing in the show, so maybe they should be hosting the show. Anyway, what we're looking at now is we're looking at a retest of the Bitcoin price, and if you've been watching our show, this is exactly what we predicted. So everybody relax, calm down. We said the price would go up, and it did go up, and then the price came straight back down, and it's going to do a retest, and then I'm going to show you 4 big indicators. Okay, now these indicators are massive indicators to show you that we are about to see the most historical recovery in crypto history. I have the data, I have the fundamentals. And I'm going to show you one sector that's going to recover before all the other sectors. So stay tuned until the end. Alrighty, so I'm Crypto Man Ren, and I come to you each and every day. And today I'm coming to you from none other than the presidential house in El Salvador. We're here to meet the president and the whole delegation in El Salvador. And I'm going to keep you fully updated, either here or on the Instagram all day to show you guys exactly what's happening. So I want to adjust the screen ever so slightly. Okay, so we're going to be bringing you live footage from El Salvador all day. Whatever we can't bring you on YouTube, we will bring you on Instagram. I'm also going to be bringing you live market coverage because there's a lot happening on the market right now, and you need to know exactly what's going on. Today, I'm going to show you 4 indicators going to show us why we are in for the biggest recovery in crypto history and why you shouldn't be panicking. So if you're new to our channel, welcome. Smash the like button, subscribe button, because this is the most profitable crypto channel in the world. We give you amazing things. We bring you the banter bags. We bring you free sniper school and many other things. And I don't know if you guys saw this. I'm sure Sheldon showed it to you, but let me show you what our viewers are saying. I think the main reason why they tune into the show is
everybody wants the banter bag. The banter bag.
So I guess that's why people actually tune into our show. They just want the banter bags. It's all about the banter bags here. Everybody wants the banter bags. Anyway, guys, let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into the show because it is going to be a much shorter stream than usual because we are in El Salvador and talking to the president, and we've got a whole itinerary planned, and we leave here in about 20 or 30 minutes. So I wanted to show you guys 4 reasons why I think we're in for the biggest market recovery in history. And it actually starts off with the charts. So let's bring our friend Sheldon. What's up, brother?
What's up? Nice to see you. Looking good, huh? Enjoying it.
Do I look like a president? Do I look like a president?
You do. The president of crypto, huh?
All right, so I mentioned, I'm not too worried about this retest. We kind of called this retest, but maybe just recap on the stream why this is one of the reasons why we're about to see a market recovery. What are the charts actually telling us?
Well, the charts are still looking great. Like we said previously, we had a much higher high. Chart-wise, we're looking brilliant, and we're not sort of surprised. This is what I've been waiting for. Remember, buy the dip, buy the red. And this is a perfect breakout of a trend and just a retest of support. So chart-wise, it's looking really good. And I'm actually now to think of it, now that we have the shorts sitting at such a high, it was absolutely crazy to see that this monthly candle is looking the way it is. Let's just make it bigger there. There we go. Have a look at that monthly candle. I've never seen a monthly candle like that for the shorts, and that's huge. Now, there was 2 scenarios that we said through this morning. Either we break down when the death cross happens, or we're going to break down before that and then smash completely through it and destroy all the shorts. And now we get in the pullback before the death cross or anything that has happened. So I'm very happy, when majority is doing the one thing, I'm always looking to do the other. And this is showing us that they're going to want to make money off of this shorting that's sitting here. So yeah, I'm very happy where we're sitting with Bitcoin, and
let's look at where we are relative to the death cross. So let's call up the moving averages again, and let's call up the death cross.
Cool. Let me get this up here. There we go. So if we look at the MAs, we look at the daily. There we go. Remember, we were saying about a few days. It will take a few days. We're probably looking closer to in the next 5 days or so, closer to early next week. Definitely that's where the cross will be happening. So this is a normal. It's the first higher high. There's the first daily higher high we've received since this whole drop. So we're looking good, and we obviously got a nice support trend helping us to see when we got to hold certain levels still. Definitely.
Sheldon, it looks like my screen is freezing. Is my screen? Can you guys see me?
Yeah, you are freezing a little bit, but we can
I'm
hear
going to
you
log off and
perfectly.
log on. Just go through the charts. I'm going to log off and log on and see, and hopefully it gets a bit better.
Okay, cool, buddy. No problem. Okay, so let's go through this again quick, guys. Let me just clear up here. There we go. Okay, so since obviously this morning's call, we're finally starting to get a bit of a reaction to the downward side, and we're getting very close to those levels. So remember what I said, I'm being very patient for these buys. I'm not chasing the green pump because we do know, sometimes they don't retest, guys, but 8 to 9 out of 10 times they come down and they retest. And chart wise, we're looking really, really good. So this is also still some sort of inverse head and shoulders where we got the left shoulder, the new head. When I detect inverse is when we actually break trend, and that's a beautiful test to show us for the push to the upward side. The fact that we are dropping now before any big news in the market or anything, it's showing me that this is short term. It's a short term pullback because there's no real reason for any panic right now or anything changing. Fundamentally, everything's bullish, and we haven't even had the death cross yet. So now that we're getting down, this is where I was saying that I am getting ready now to stock up in the market as well. We're sitting with our shopping list and all those coins as well. So yeah, you're back there, buddy.
I'm back. Hopefully I'm back. Buddy, Sheldon, stay in the waiting room because I want to talk about what's happening on the markets today, what's happening here in Salvador today, and there's a lot happening, and there's a lot happening over here. Guys, if you are watching this, smash the like button. I see that there's a lot fewer people on the screen, and I think that what's happening is that YouTube is again limiting the content. And the only way that we can fix that, if you guys smash the like button, and I see that there are about 7,000 people watching this. Let's have a look at what the likes look like at the moment. No wonder. I mean, there's only 2,000. And I see that there are about 7. No wonder the stream was done. Come on, guys, smash the like button. I'm coming to you guys live from El Salvador. And I'm bringing you the big news of the day. And I guess the big news of the day today is that everybody is looking at the Fed. Everybody is looking at what Jerome Powell will do in light of the fact that for the first time, we're actually talking about inflation. I don't know if you guys have been watching this, but Anthony Pompliano, he said that he's expecting the Fed to actually drop a bomb today. Now, what would a bomb mean? Let's quickly go through what's actually going on. For the first time in history, or for the first time in a long time, we've got, since 2008, we haven't had such high inflation numbers. The inflation numbers, which were 5%, which were supposed to be 2%, came out at about 5%. And the only tool that the Fed has in its arsenal to manage inflation is to raise interest rates. The problem with raising interest rates is it's going to slow down the economy and slow down all the growth that they predicted. And if they don't have growth, then they can't get rid of this extra money supply. The whole idea was to print a lot of money. And because there's so much money and everything becomes more expensive, it looks like there's a whole lot of growth. And today, the Fed is coming out for the first time since the big inflation numbers. They're going to be talking, and all eyes are on the Fed. Anthony Pompliano says that he's expecting the Fed to drop a bomb. I'm expecting the Fed to do absolutely nothing. I'm expecting them to say that the interest rates are going to remain at 0. Now, if the interest rates remain at 0, then, and they reassure the markets that the interest rates are going to remain at 0 for a long time, then the markets are going to calm. And if the markets calm, then the markets are going to carry on running. And I'm talking about... Okay, sorry, but I'm getting an echo, but it seems to be coming out of the phone. So if the markets are calm, if the Fed manages today to calm the markets, the stock markets continue to run and crypto continues to run. Because of these inflation fears, and the inflation fears are much bigger than the 5% that they published the other day. We all know that inflation is in the 20 and 30%. And CNBC also released what they call the producer price index, which is the producer inflation, which is what the factories or the manufacturers are feeling as inflation or the increase in prices. And those numbers were around 6 and 7%. So what you can see is that they've deviated for the first time from the 2%. They've reported a 5%, even though they've completely changed the metrics. And the producers are saying that inflation is now at 7%. It's a good and a bad thing. The good thing is the more inflation, the more fund managers are going to run to Bitcoin. We know that. We've seen that. We've seen every single fund manager in the report saying that they're going to run to Bitcoin. And I'm going to show you a report later on that shows that US fund managers expect that 10% of their portfolios will be in Bitcoin and crypto in the next 5 years, which is huge. We've never seen numbers like that. On the downside, if people think that interest rates are going to go up, if Jerome Powell comes out today and says that interest rates are going to go up, then we've got a big problem because the stock markets will correct. And if the stock market's correct, people are going to run away from the stock markets and they're going to run away from risky assets and they're going to run away from Bitcoin too. So keep your eyes on the Fed speech today. I will bring you live coverage of that as soon as I can. Obviously, I'm here in El Salvador and we've got a whole lot of meetings and we've got a delegation to go and speak to the president. And so I'm not sure I'm going to be bringing it to you in time. Speaking to the president, I'm so excited to go and speak to him. And I'll tell you why I'm so excited. Because he yesterday started talking to commercial leaders about the viability of starting to pay people salaries here in Bitcoin. Imagine in El Salvador, people are going to be paid their salaries in Bitcoin. I mean, this guy's not wasting any time. He's moving faster than anyone I've ever seen, even Michael Saylor. So excited about that, and also excited to talk about the FUD, because as usual, there's a lot of FUD going on. There has to be FUD, because the world's not just going to accept the fact that a small country in Latin America has now shocked the entire world system. And I said this to you guys before. Why have they shocked the entire world system? Because now every single sovereign nation in the world has to accept Bitcoin as a form of payment. Otherwise, it's seen as a hostile act. And big economists are starting to reach out against it. I want to show you guys some of the reaction from some big economists.
Coin, it does indicate that the president and the congressman who voted for adopting Bitcoin in El Salvador as legal tender are, in a word, stupid. They've entered the Hankey's Dictionary of Economic Stupidity. And the reason for that is El Salvador is one of the 3 Latin American countries that is officially dollarized. In other words, Panama, Ecuador, and El Salvador are the 3, and they don't have a local currency. They use the US dollar. So they use the premier international currency in the world right now. So now they're adding on legal tender status for Bitcoin. And the reason for this is dark forces clearly are behind this, and that is the criminal element. And the reason for that is that the criminal element wants to be able to get in and actually obtain real legal tender, greenbacks. They want greenbacks, and greenbacks are in fact the legal tender and money in El Salvador. So the reason this is so stupid is that the vulnerability now of El Salvador increases massively because they are dollarized. And what happens if everybody in Russia that is holding Bitcoin, or China, or you name it, Iran, want to cash out and obtain greenbacks that they actually can use to buy things? They will suck up all the dollars in El Salvador like a vacuum cleaner going through there, and the economy will collapse. So that's why it's so stupid.
Well, El Salvador is not, are you suggesting that this move is going to accelerate any economic downturn that El Salvador is already facing?
It'll not only accelerate it, it has the potential to completely collapse the economy, because all the dollars in El Salvador could be vacuumed up and there'd be no money in the country. They don't have a domestic currency. They use the US dollar. That is the currency in El Salvador.
So I guess what he's saying is that in El Salvador, people are going to come here to launder their money. They're going to come here, take the US dollars, swap the US dollars for Bitcoin, and dry up this country of US dollars. Why is that such a bad thing? then this country is going to run on Bitcoin. I spent some time in the streets today, and this virus here is spreading. This Bitcoin thing is really, really spreading here. They're not waiting for anybody else. But of course, there is going to be negativity, and you can expect negativity from the older generation. And you can already see that, you know, these guys are, I mean, this guy must be 94 years old in the shade. And so, I mean, that's why I think he's so against it. Let's listen to a little more about what he said.
All right, let's elaborate on that for just a bit. And you actually made a tweet about this. You said, El Salvador President Nayib Bukele claims it's cheaper to send remittances via Bitcoin to ELSL than by traditional alternatives. This is a big lie. To send $200 via Western Union, where MoneyGram costs 0 to 4%, to cash out Bitcoin at an ATM in ELSL, it costs 8% on average. Okay, well, I mean, isn't the whole point of sending remittances through with Bitcoin to reduce costs down to zero? Like, to exchange.
No. This is nonsensical. What you're getting into. If grandma is down in El Salvador waiting for her remittances and you want to send it with Bitcoin, that's fine. What'd she do? She has to go to the ATM to get dollars because that's the only way you can buy something.
But that's the whole point of legalizing Bitcoin as legal tender, right? She can now go to the store and buy her groceries with Bitcoin, presumably.
Lots of luck. You know, you're on a different
So you're saying
planet.
that won't happen?
No, there's no way it's going to happen, period. Bitcoin is not used in day-to-day transactions for all practical purposes. A tiny amount of transactions are actually used. So grandma is going to have big problems.
Okay, listen, Granddad, I know you call her grandma, but let me explain to you what's actually happening in El Salvador. Number one, the president has made it a law that every single merchant in El Salvador has to accept Bitcoin. So grandma will be able to accept Bitcoin in any store here in El Salvador. Number two, they are not using Bitcoin like you know it. They are using the Lightning Network. The Lightning Network makes transactions cheap, almost free, almost free. And he has been very specific in saying that they are going to be using the Lightning Network here. And so Bitcoin, and the third thing that happens here is there is no capital gains tax here on Bitcoin, which means that when you spend Bitcoin, unlike in the United States and many other countries, there is no capital gains. And so here, Bitcoin has actually become a currency. So I think do your homework before you come here and you bash what is probably the most progressive move by a president who seems to be the most progressive president in the world, who doesn't give a shit about the G7. He doesn't give a shit about the IMF. He doesn't give a shit about the World Bank. He is doing what he's doing, and he's making El Salvador a powerhouse. While people are saying that you can't mine Bitcoin because it uses too much dirty energy, he's using volcanic energy. Granddad, I think you need to wake up. I think you need to do your homework before you go on national TV or on a big channel and talk about something like this. Anyway, let me not rant because I've got to get on with the show. So I told you guys there are 4 reasons why the market is about to recover. The first reason is the plain charts. And as Sheldon showed us in the charts, there is a retest. We knew this retest was going to come. There it is. You can see the retest. It was exactly the buy zone that Sheldon said to you guys is going to happen. It's going to retest that yellow line. And then we are going to go straight up. That's the first reason. The second reason is what I've been talking to you guys about for the last couple of days. What is that reason that I've been talking to you guys about for the last? It's the open short position on Bitfinex. The reason why I'm only looking at Bitfinex is because this is the only open short chart that is actually published. And so we have to use this as a gauge the open shorts in the market. Now, the open short chart, as you can see, is going up and up and up and up and up and is not stopping. Remember that every single time that somebody shorts a Bitcoin, they are actually selling Bitcoin into the market and they're pushing the price down. So despite all of this short selling, the price is still holding up amazingly. Now, there are 2 options here. The first option here is that the short positions continue to rise, and it's happening by speculators. And if this happens because of speculators, we are going to see the biggest short closing, the biggest short squeeze of all time. I've never seen a short squeeze like this. If you think the old short squeezes were amazing, check this short squeeze. I've never seen so many open positions on the shorts. And I mean, if you look here, just look here. let me try and get you back onto this chart. When in history have you seen the shorts this high? The last time that this happened was 2019, 25th of June. That last time that these shorts were this high. There is one theory, though, that says that the reason why the shorts are so high is because Chinese mining companies, because of the mining ban, are relocating. And in order for these Chinese miners to relocate, they need cash. They need cash flow. They need to buy new miners. They need to move the existing miners. And so what they're doing is, because they don't have any Bitcoin that they want to sell, they're short selling Bitcoin. And when they mine the Bitcoin, they will use those Bitcoin to cover the shorts. So their position is neutral. The only way we're going to know about this is if we wait for a price rise or for a price dip. If the price rises and the shorts start to go down, so if the price rises and all of a sudden you see this green line over here start to go down, you know that the shorts are capitulating. And then you'll see the price rise quicker than you've ever seen anything in your life. Mark my words. If the price rises or the price drops and we see no movement in the short position, it is the miners in China hedging their positions, and they don't really care about price because they just need cash flow right now. So we need to watch the open short positions. I guess we're getting the bigger short squeeze of prepare yourselves. Prepare yourselves for one green candle, then another green candle, and then the shorts capitulating. And if the shorts capitulate, Bitcoin's going to go over $50,000, which is why I said that if Bitcoin doesn't go over $45,000, I'm deleting my tweet. So that's the second reason why I think we're heading for a massive recovery, a historical recovery, something that we haven't seen before in crypto. Let's get to the third one. So remember that I spoke to you guys about Plan B. Plan B is the creator of the stock to flow model. And he said that the stock to flow model deviated from the price deviated from the stock flow model, and it doesn't happen very often. But he also said that if it does happen, it usually corrects, and it corrects pretty quickly. And he then posted that 288 is still in play. And he said, it would really surprise me if the Bitcoin would not touch the stock to flow regardless of current volatility. And if that happens, then Bitcoin is still in play for $288,000 this year, guys. That was the first sign. But then he went on to say, just to confirm, both my stock to flow and stock to flow X and the on-chain signal point towards a second run in this bull. And he got this information, the information from a tweet by William Clement III. And this tweet shows the Bitcoin net holders position. What is the Bitcoin net holders position? It is the number of holders. It shows whether the holders are accumulating or selling their Bitcoin. So let's take a look. Look at the history. When the Bitcoin price was low, they were accumulating until they got to a certain point where the price got to a certain point, and it looks like that point in the price was above the old Bitcoin price, above the old all-time high. And then a lot of these people that bought Bitcoin in the old cycle were in the money. And so what they did was they started selling and 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 selling. And now for the first time, these whales are starting to accumulate again. Look what happened the last time that these whales started to accumulate. It climbed and climbed and climbed and climbed and climbed. And as soon as they started selling, the price started to go down. It's almost like they called the market perfectly. Now they're doing it again. They're starting to buy again. You can see there's this glimmer of hope over here. And so what Plan B is saying that if the whales are starting to buy again and the stock to flow is, have a look at this. He said that the stock to flow model deviated from the model. The price deviated from the stock to flow model. So I looked at the deviation from the model. And you can see that for the first time in a long time, the stock to flow model is actually starting to head back towards the model. This green line shows how much the stock has deviated from the stock to flow model. And if you look at how much the price has deviated from the stock to flow model, what you can see is it's deviated and deviated and deviated and deviated and deviated and deviated. And now the price is starting to go back towards the stock to flow model. This is exactly what his thesis said. He said, the stock to flow model, the price can't be different for the stock to flow from the stock to flow model for long periods of time. It hasn't been since the beginning of Bitcoin. And so he said, if it happened, it would happen for a while. It would happen for a week, maybe a month. 2 days after I brought you the stream, what you can see, let me zoom in for you guys. There's actually a better chart, which I think actually zooms in. Okay, so no, this is the better one. So 2 days after I brought you the news that the stock to, or 3 days after I brought you the news that we were deviating from the stock to flow much, you can see that the price is starting to go back to the stock to flow model. How much upside is there? Well, it kind of has to go all the way back up here, right? It has to, the stock to flow model should be something like this, where the green line tracks the price. And there's a very small deviation. Look at this. And now we're seeing a little trend reversal over here. So, I mean, that's another good reason why we should be buying. That's another one of the good reasons why we should be buying. And like we keep saying that the smart money, the hodlers, are buying from the weak hands when this happens, right? I keep saying this to you. Every time that there's a deviation, every time there's a deviation, every time that the retail hands get scared, buys, it's the whales. It's the whales buying from the spinach hands. I keep showing this to you guys. I'm going to show it to you guys again. The short-term holders are selling as the price goes down. The whales, the long-term holders, what are they doing? They're buying your coins. And you can see that. I mean, you can see what Michael Saylor is doing. And I want to talk to you for 2 seconds about what Michael Saylor is doing. Because what he is doing, I've never seen anything like it. He is the best financial engineer in the world. You've never, ever, you can't even imagine how smart this guy is. And I'm going to show you why. I don't know if you noticed, but Michael Saylor launched a bond offering, a convertible note, a debt offering of 6%. With a 6% coupon. And he said, look, we're using money to buy Bitcoin. Let me play you the exit, then we'll talk about it.
To be clear, you may have heard about MicroStrategy raising money this morning to buy Bitcoin. That was a bond sale. 2028 notes due. This is an equity offering. So effectively, Michael Saylor, your buddy, and MicroStrategy doing 2 raises, 1 debt, 1 equity to buy Bitcoin in the same day.
Okay, what is he doing? Why is Michael Saylor buying or selling debt first? 6.25% yielding debt, of course. It's not like high yielding debt. It's yielding 6.25%. Raised debt, and he said in the debt offering that we're going to buy Bitcoin. Now, that's what he did. And then on the same day, he said, oh, we're also selling MicroStrategy equity. We're selling our company, equity in our company to buy Bitcoin. Why? What is he thinking? This is where Michael Saylor is an absolute genius. Why? Read this tweet. It says, what he knows is that there is an endless demand for high yield debt by public pension funds and credit funds. Now, when you go to these credit funds and you say to them, look, we're going to sell you bonds at 6%. And they look at the market and they say, look, government bonds are paying nothing, or 1% or 2%, or 1.5%. Other corporate bonds are paying 5%. And here we have a listed company that has a high market cap all of a sudden, and they're offering us 6.5%. What does he do? He taps the pension fund money. He taps into the and thirst, the hunger that these guys have for, because they have to. Because how pension funds work is certain baskets. And if you are in the debt basket, then you can only buy debt. You can't buy equity. You can only buy debt. And so he structured his offering to say, look, pension funds, you have a demand or an insatiable demand for debt. Here's debt. And he put out $400 million into the market. And $5 billion worth of subscriptions for it. And then he issued $500 million worth of debt. But then what he's doing is he's saying, cool, now that I've got the money through debt, I also know that there's some other investors that want to buy equity. And they want to buy equity in high yielding companies that are exposed to crypto, shares, equity. So what does he do? The genius, on the same day, also sells equity. And who buys this equity? BlackRock, Vanguard, Morgan Stanley, all these people that want exposure to crypto. And what this tweet is like watching financial engineering Picasso be painting in real time. Market structure and power has centralized into these financial oligarchs, and Saylor is using their size and mandates against them. Vanguard, Morgan Stanley, and all these other guys, they couldn't buy Bitcoin because it's not on their mandates. But they can buy shares in a listed company, right? And that's what he did. He played into their hands. This guy is a financial engineer like I've never seen it. And what he's showing us is that there is an insatiable demand by fund managers to actually get into Bitcoin. It's insatiable. And it's driven by all these inflation fears and nationalism. And that's the next thing that I want to talk to you guys about. So let me call it, everybody's been talking about this report that was published, which interviewed 100 fund managers and asked them about their views on crypto. It was actually a report that was a lot of things. It actually wasn't just about crypto, but 2 or 3 things actually stuck out from the rest. So this report was done by the Intertrust Group. The Intertrust Group is an investment company or an investment research firm. And what they did was they interviewed 100 fund managers and they asked them a whole lot of questions. And what they said in the report was, this is where the data gets juicy. The first thing they said is that ESG is a massive, massive, massive consideration for them. In fact, 57% of them said, or 57% of them thought good ESG would bring more money into industries and bad ESG would take money out of industry. So you can see this ESG narrative is a huge narrative around funds. And this is where the FUD is being caused because this whole Elon Musk thing brought the ESG FUD to the limelight. But because people are now realizing that miners are moving away from China and they're moving to places like Texas and they're moving to places with clean mining energy, and they may even move here to El Salvador, and that's what I'm going to cover for you guys later today. They are seeing that this green narrative is going to go away. And if the green narrative goes away, this is where it gets a little bit more juicy. So you can see that on average, the fund said that 7.2% of the assets are going to be invested in Bitcoin. So imagine that every single fund in the world would put 7.2% of the assets into Bitcoin or crypto. Right now, I don't even think that 0.2% of the funds in the world have their assets in crypto. But the fund managers are saying that within the next 5 years, they see up to 10% of their assets in Bitcoin. You can't read it, the writing is very small, but it says 1 in 6 respondents said that they will invest at least 10% of their investment holdings in crypto. And in North America, on average, the average fund in North America is going to be spending or putting 10%, guys, 10% of the fund's capital in crypto in the next 5 years. Okay, I'm not going to, they're going to buy this in 5 years' time when the markets run. They're going to start buying it now. And if you look at what Michael Saylor did something genius. He tested the institutional demand and the institutional aversion to Bitcoin. By going to the funds and going to the pension funds and the fixed income funds, the funds that have a mandate to buy fixed income securities, he tested to see whether those funds actually would buy. And they were 3 times oversubscribed, despite the fact that the market had gone down, right? He then went and raised an equity round and he said, let's see how the biggest investors in the world, BlackRock, Vanguard, all the biggest, Morgan Stanley, all the biggest investors in the world, let's see how they feel about buying equity in a company that 95% of what the company does is Bitcoin. What do? They oversubscribed the equity round. And the result is that we've now got $2 billion market where people are going to, that is going to buy Bitcoin. In the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, Michael Saylor is buying $2 billion worth of Bitcoin. That's more than Tesla bought. That is more than Tesla currently hold on their balance sheet. And when Michael Saylor was asked why, this is what he said.
I think over the past 12 months, we've all been waiting for inflation. I think we're seeing it right now. I think investors are saying that Bitcoin's up 330% and gold's up 7% in that period. So Bitcoin is outperforming gold as an inflation hedge by a factor of 50. So you're seeing Paul Tudor Jones and the other early Bitcoin believers thinking maybe it's time for me to double or triple my allocation. Between you and me, I'm surprised they're not increasing their allocation by a factor of 10 because Bitcoin's 50 times better.
So expect $2 billion worth of buying, expect FOMO from the fund managers, look at the inflation numbers today, and let's see if the Fed has a plan to manage inflation. And if not, more people are going to run into it. And then I said to you guys, I think there's going to be one sector that's going to run before all the other sectors. And the reason why the sector is going to run before the other sectors is because even in the bull market, the sector got hit the hardest. It got hit first. And that's because it was hyped up a lot. And then it came down. And then, it went through like a mini bear market. And you can already see that starting to wake up. If you look at things like Ethereum, and if you look at things like Super, you can see they're starting to do better than all the other ones. They are the leading indicator. And that sector, of course, is NFTs. Now, there's a lot of news happening in NFTs right now. There's a lot of money going into NFTs. And it's not money by crypto people. It's money by the big media companies, by actors, by sports stars, there was a big announcement. The announcement came from Fox. And Fox is putting $100 million, get this, $100 million behind the NFT blockchain experiment. So, do you think that Fox is going to be alone? No, every single network in the world is going to go after NFTs. Every single film studio in the world is going to go after NFTs. All the sports stars are going after NFTs. I think that NFTs are again going to lead this recovery. I think that, like DeFi, NFTs have got a use case already. They've been proven. Now, what you could see is that the market is actually looking for things that are proven, have got a use case, and people are actually using, right? Why did DeFi do so well? Because new investors came in and they said, shit, this DeFi thing's growing and people are using it and they're getting yield and it works. And the same thing's happening now with NFTs. There's a lot of news and there's a lot of people buying in NFTs. And so I think that if you believe there's going to be a market recovery, if Bitcoin breaks through the key levels, then what you need to be doing is you need to be buying NFTs because they'll lead the race. Another one that you probably should be looking at, and I keep saying this to you guys, Kusama, Polkadot. The reason why I'm so bullish on Kusama and Polkadot, let me show you this again. You got to understand this. You got to understand these narratives. So Kusama is running the parachains. And in order to run the parachains, what you need to do is projects who want to become a parachain on the Kusama network have to raise Kusama tokens from their communities. And they lock these Kusama tokens in the auctions, right? Now, there are only, as you can see, 9 million circulating Kusama tokens in supply. There are only 9 million and there will only ever be 10 million. So why am I saying that you guys should buy this? Or why do I think it's a no-brainer to start getting into Kusama? Well, the first parachain is running and one team bidding. And that team is bidding with 400,000 Kusama. So about 5% of the total supply of Kusama is going to be locked up in this parachain for as long as this is a parachain. For as long as this product or project, which is called Karura, is a parachain, 400,000 Kusama are never going to come into circulation again. 400,000 out of 10 million. What about the next parachain? What about the next parachain? What about the next parachain? And we think they're going to be over 100 parachains. Where are they going to get the Kusama from? That's my question. Where are they going to get the Kusama from? These 400 are gone. The next 400 are gone. The next 400 are gone. And they're out of circulation. And if that's the case, where are they going to get the Kusama from? So that's why I think the market's going to recover. Let's see what our man Sheldon thinks. Sheldino. Can't hear you.
I'm on mute. I'm on mute. What's up?
What do you think? What do you think? Are we heading for this massive recovery?
I'm very bullish. I'm super bullish. My charts are telling me to be bullish, and yeah, I raised emotion out of it, and fundamentally. And Rand, by the way, you're on fire today, buddy. Those facts are coming through brilliantly. And I'm very happy where we're sitting with the charts. I'm very happy with the game plan. I'm happy to be patient to these times. I know it's the boring stage, but it's the patient stage, and that whole chart is good for me.
Okay, so Bitcoin going back into the buy zone as you predicted, right?
Yeah, all there.
Exactly as I have been predicting.
So Bitcoin going into that buy zone. Let's look at Kusama and then let's end the stream because I got to go and meet the president. I'm realizing now that we're getting very close to 9 o'clock, so we got to go meet the president. So let's quickly go through Kusama.
There we go, buddy. So when I was speaking about it, when was it? 2 days ago, about stocking up for the longer term holds, I set that green zone up for us. And there we go. So anyway, like I said, I'm waiting between the 280 to the, call it $330, $340 region is my definite. Buying the dips as we go, always keeping a little bit of cash and just buying as we dip into the zone for the longer term hold. Because we keep looking at it zoomed up, but higher time frame. This is looking really, really good. It's actually making a strong sort of bull flag, which is nice. And we obviously want to be catching it on the secondary low that we're going to make now. Make the low. Breakout test to the next sort of zone. So Kusama, 280, 330. I am buying every dip that goes in that zone.
So I think, long story short, because I've got to go, but long story short, we are waiting for two things. We're looking at the open shorts on Bitfinex. If those open shorts start to capitulate, this thing is going to explode. If the price goes up and the open shorts don't capitulate, it is the Chinese miners, and then there's not going to be a massive short squeeze, but probably the price will continue to go up. Then we are looking at the Fed. Let's look at what the Fed says today. Let's look at what Jerome Powell says today. If he says that interest rates are not going to increase, rocket. I guess that's the big news for today.
Awesome, buddy.
Brother, see you again tomorrow.
Enjoy. Have an
updated
awesome
on
night.
Instagram. I'll keep you guys up.
Yeah. Please take lots of videos, buddy. Lots of videos. Awesome.
Run, wait, my friend. All right, guys, let me go. Let me pack it up for today. I'll see you guys again tomorrow, 10 a.m. EST. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. EST, Scaramucci, live right here on Crypto Banter. So I will see you guys again tomorrow. If you are trading, trade friends.
Crypto Banter is a social podcast for entertainment purposes only. All opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers should not be construed as financial advice. Views expressed by guests and hosts do not reflect the views of the station. Listeners are encouraged to do their own research.